My grief journey has been all over the place. I've experienced a lot of loss in my life, just specifically in my 20s, but losing my little brother who's 20, it was like January 2024. So it's still like not that long ago. I don't feel like I was ever in denial, but maybe I was, and I just don't really fully understand what denial is in grief, because obviously you know that they're gone. Something that would really bother me whenever I was like initially going through grief and loss, like people would go to my best friend and be like, oh my God, like 2 or 3 months into it. And they'd be like, Kenzie, she's doing so great. I'm so hot. And I'm like, first of all, I haven't left my bedroom in 2 months. Second, like it felt to me like they wanted me to be okay so that they didn't have to feel uncomfortable. I don't want people to understand. You know what I mean? It's better to not have had to like experience it. It changes all the time.
Lemon drops. Welcome back to the squeeze. I cannot believe that we are in May. I don't know where the time went. I feel like I blinked and now we're in May. Granted, I also was like down for the count a couple months during my first trimester. So that might be why it feels like it's gone by so fast. But I don't know if you feel that same way about it going by so fast, but I cannot believe we're approaching summer and it's warmer outside, and it's just so crazy how fast this year is flying by. I'm super excited about our guests this month. I feel like this month is stacked. You are not going to want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed, you're following us along, however you are listening or watching The Squeeze. But this week's guest is Kenzie Elizabeth. She is a lifestyle influencer, content creator, and podcast host, best known for her long-form conversations around personal growth, routines, wellness, and navigating life in her 20s. She's built her audience on YouTube, sharing vlogs, advice, lifestyle content, before expanding into podcasting with her show House Guest, which has become a go-to space for listeners looking for a mix of productivity, self-development, and relatable life guidance. This was Kenzie and I's first time meeting, and we have so many mutual friends. I don't know how we haven't met before, but we truly just had a girl chat yap. I literally forgot we were recording half the time, and I kept forgetting that I had notes that I was supposed to be following because we were just yapping the whole time. And she is such a light, and I feel like has so many good tips and tricks for mental health, but also hobbies. Like she has so many hobbies. I feel like I now want to try all of them. We talked about the effects of social media, how it's been for her really navigating sharing so much of her life on the internet for so long. And she also opened up with me about her grief process after losing her brother a couple years ago. This conversation is so sweet and touching, and I really just had the best time with Kenzie. I think you guys are going to love this episode. Well, Kenzie, welcome to The Squeeze.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. Lemon Drops, we are not in the Squeeze studio because we're doing a fun little episode today at Dear Media. Insert twinkle sound. Yeah, we took a little field trip today to come and do this. And I'm not mad about it because if you're watching on YouTube, this couch that I'm on right now is actually really comfy. And I don't know if I'm going to be moving at all this episode. But welcome.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to just like sit and chat and yap.
I know, same.
I love a good.
It's going to be a good morning.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a great morning. Okay, so we normally start each episode. I have a jar in my studio that I don't have here. It's a game called Citrus Got Real. Normally I have, I guess, pull a piece of paper out. But I figured I could just ask you a question that I thought of is, what was the last show that you binged?
Okay, so I'm actually the worst about watching TV. I really only watch shows that I've seen a billion times.
Okay.
But you're actually catching me. This is probably supposed to be like rapid fire, but I'm like tangent anyway.
No, it's so good.
You're catching me in a really low moment because I'm really into Law & Order right now, which I've watched a billion times, and they just canceled Law & Order Organized Crime. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I still have seasons to watch. No, I go home and we have one episode left because it's canceled. Elliot Stabler. Anyway, so currently it's been like Law & Order in the background, but I'm not like up to date on TV. I'm like really weird about the stuff that I choose to watch.
Okay. What other shows do you normally watch if you're like a repeat show watcher?
I love Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
I love One Tree Hill. It's a lot of comfort show. I mean, I guess anything can be a comfort show too, because like Law & Order was a comfort show to me, and that's not very comforting, you know? I love Nashville. I love Friday Night Lights. I'm like from Texas, so like Friday Night Lights, I'm like
Yeah.
I'm literally at home.
Yeah. It's so funny.
But I just kind of like rewatch the same things I'm the same way with movies.
Yeah. That would be me. My husband does not like let me do that. He is not like a sit down and rewatch something you've already watched type personality, which is actually really good. I don't know why that is, but he never like got it. Like, I guess he never really like got into shows. Like he never, I feel like growing up, his family just watched like game shows. So that it wasn't
He was also
really,
like in the stuff. So
Yeah.
I wonder if that, you know what I mean?
yeah, I know. I don't, yeah, he never really gave them a chance. I think he decided like with Friends, he had never watched it until we started dating, or at least like to the extent that I watch it. And he just like didn't think it was a good show. Like he just was like, it's a sitcom. Like, can it be a good show? And then he started watching some episodes and he was like, oh, this is funny. And then he was like, oh, this person guest stars? This person guest stars? I'm like, yes, hon, it's a good show.
And it's like so important. It's so culturally relevant forever. I love Friends too.
Yeah, no, that, and I've always wanted to try to get him to watch How I Met Your Mother. That was like my comfort show for like, I've probably watched it like 3 or 4 times.
I watched that in college and but the weird thing about it is that I watched it and I couldn't really tell you what happened. So it's kind of nice because I could rewatch that and it would be a new show to me.
Yeah. No,
you know?
I feel like I could also because it's been so long. I also think I want to give The Office another run because that one I actually think he would really like because we just watched, I don't know if you've heard of Jury Duty or Company Retreat on Amazon. I feel like he loves like watching awkward on TV.
Yeah, so it's
and so I was like, we need to give The Office a try. Like you would think that's so funny. So that's like my next little like pull. Well, let's dive in. You obviously are online. Your job is fully online. When did you start doing social media?
I'm 28 now. I started YouTube when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
So I've been making like YouTube videos forever. And then I started the podcast like 7 years ago now, 6 years ago.
Wow.
I can never remember because it was while I was in college at some point. But yeah, I'm like primarily on like YouTube and podcasting, like in long form stuff. So I've been doing it forever.
What made you want to start doing YouTube?
I grew up in a very like tumultuous household. Like I love my family. I'm very close with them, but there was just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And YouTube was my escape. Like that was like what I went to watch that was very comforting to me. And so I ended up, I was like, if I can do that for someone, like I would love to do that. I was so young, like very naive, like very pure intentions, you know? I'm like, and I'm like, and now I have no pure intentions. No, but like I was just young and it was just good for me. Like it was a nice escape. And it was back when like influencer wasn't a term then. Yeah. And if you had a YouTube channel, most people, like most friends that I had that lived across the country, because we would like come together for like VidCons and Playlist Lives and things like that. A lot of them were like bullied in school. I got very lucky. People were like very nice to me about it. I mean, I'm sure they like had some things to say and whatever, but for the most part, like I was by no means like bullied by it. Like people were very nice, but I was young when I started.
Wow. Did you ever think that, like, did you go into it wanting to do it? Because influencer like wasn't, like it wasn't really like a career thing back then.
I think I went into it knowing, because I'm very like, do you know the Enneagram, like the personality types? Okay, so like I'm a Leo, I'm an Enneagram 3, like any single personality type where you can be like, I'm actually weirdly very introverted, but I'm very outgoing. Yeah. But like any personality type where you can be outgoing, leader, overachiever, any of those things, like that is always me. So going into it, like mind you, I'd like never even seen The Hills or whatever show, but I was like, I'm gonna be Lauren Conrad. But like I had never even seen the show. I just knew that she had books and like did something with Teen Vogue at some point, and I was like, that's it, you know?
I'm gonna be in Teen Vogue.
Yeah, so I was like, that's gonna happen. Yeah. But it like, yes and no, because I obviously like couldn't have actually imagined, like I went into it very determined that I was gonna turn it into something, but it was before I hadn't like seen a lot of proof of concept, if that makes sense. Yeah. So like in my head, I was like, yes, but there was really no way to know that. You know?
No,
I was just kind of delusional. I was young and naive. You know?
Were you just like posting vlogs or was it? What was your?
We actually looked at my first video the other day and I'm like, I actually want to die right now. It was hauls. So a lot of it was like, it's pretty much really similar content to what I'm doing now. I just obviously am 28. So, and I like grandma hobbies and stuff. So like my actual content's different, but it's always just been like sharing whatever phase of my life that I'm in hauls and style and things like that. It's like kind of the same format though.
Yeah, that's good. Do you ever feel like because you were doing it growing up, do you feel like it helped you gain a sense of self or kind of did the opposite because you were so much online?
I think it's actually helped me more than it's hurt me.
Okay.
But I understand how it would hurt worse.
Yeah.
Like I can see how that would happen. I think I just got lucky. And I was pretty like stubborn and very headstrong. So I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I think at times I say that it's helped because there's this thing that I love from this book called The Defining Decade called Identity Capital.
Okay.
And the idea behind it is that you don't find yourself, you create yourself through, I'm butchering this, but like through the things that you love, like the relationships
I don't know
have.
it, so you could be saying it perfect for me.
And I'm like, and I remember it perfectly. So
Yeah. Let me quote it word for word.
I actually didn't read the book. I invented it myself. No, but it's the idea that like you are a combination of the hobbies and the interests and all the things that you like. And I think that being online actually gave me a lot more access to a lot of people, especially the podcasts and things and like just travel and learning and meeting people of all different walks. So I think it's helped me because I found a lot of the things that I love through it. But I do think it's, of course, like harmed me at times. Like it's not normal to be young and like reading things about yourself and whatever. Like that part of the internet is very unnatural, but I've also like been doing it for so like it doesn't really like you know what I mean?
You're kind of like not used to it at this point, but it's kind of just like
it's
grown with it.
Yeah. And I never went viral overnight. Like I've always been like a slow and steady growth, which I think has been really helpful for me. I think I would have really struggled with that had I gone from 0 to 1 million followers. Like that I think is when I would have done it. But because I was growing like slowly and steadily, it allowed me to like kind of catch up with it.
Yeah,
makes sense.
No, for sure. I feel like sparkling water is one of those things where you think they're all kind of the same until you try one that actually tastes different. And that's exactly how I feel about Spindrift. Because I've definitely had those where it's like, okay, this is technically flavored, but it just tastes like bubbles and a whisper of fruit from far, far away. But Spindrift is the only sparkling water in America made with real squeezed fruit, and you can taste that immediately. Lately, I've been into the raspberry lime, and you can actually taste the raspberry. Not just a hint, but a real flavor, which makes it way more refreshing. And I like how simple it is. There are just a few ingredients you actually recognize, it's unsweetened, and it just feels light and clean without being boring. It's also made differently. Every Spindrift is made from farm to can with real ingredients that are handled very carefully. So every sip actually has that flavor and texture you're looking for. And I feel like once you notice that difference, it's hard to go back to other sparkling waters. Real fruit really does taste better. That's the Spindrift difference. Our listeners get 15% off their next order of Spindrift. Visit drinkspindrift.com and use code TAY at checkout for 15% off your site-wide purchase. One use per customer, valid through 12/31/26. Not valid on subscription orders. That's drinkspindrift.com and use code TAY for 15% off your next order. Grilling season is one of those times where the food really matters. Like you can have everything set up perfectly, but if the meat isn't great, you can tell. And that's why I've been loving ButcherBox. ButcherBox delivers over 100 premium protein options straight to your door, from grass-fed beef to wild-caught seafood. It's all raised and sourced in the right way. No antibiotics, no added hormones, no fillers, just clean, reliable protein you can feel good serving. Grilling season is one of my favorite times because Taylor is constantly on the grill cooking up things. Some of my favorites are chicken or burgers, and it's so great just having those ready on hand. And I also love how flexible it is. You can customize your box based on what you actually want, and it all ships straight to you, which just takes one more thing off your plate. As an exclusive offer, new listeners can get their choice between free sirloin tips, ground beef, or chicken wings in every box for life, plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/squeeze. That's right, your choice of free sirloin tips, ground beef, or chicken wings in every box for life, plus $20 off your first box and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/thesqueeze. Don't forget to use our link so that they know we sent you. I feel like if you have a dog, you kind of just become that person that becomes fully obsessed. I'm not even kidding. I talk to Remy and Lily like they are actual people, and I plan my day around them, and I've definitely done things for them that I probably wouldn't admit to most people. But that's how you know they're not just pets, they're family. And if anyone understands being dog obsessed, it's Ollie. They really focus on delivering the best possible food and overall experience for your dog and making it easy to actually stay on top of their health too. What really stands out is the food itself. Ollie's fresh recipes are developed by real chefs and backed with vet nutritionists, so you know you're giving your dog high-quality meals made with intention. And everything is tailored to your dog, from portion sizes to their specific needs, so it takes all the guesswork out of feeding them. And they also make it really simple day to day. You get a little pup tainer and a scoop for easy serving, so it just fits into your routine without overthinking it. Remy and Lily have been on Ollie for about 1.5 years now, and I can't tell you how much of a difference mealtime has become, especially for Lily, because she is our picky eater, but we have not had to coerce her into eating her meals because she is so excited for mealtime. Get ready for both you and your pup to be obsessed. Head to ollie.com/squeeze, tell them all about your dog, and use code SQUEEZE to get 70% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer an obsession guarantee. If you're not completely obsessed, you'll get your money back. That's OLLIE.com/squeeze and enter code SQUEEZE to get 70% off your first box. Ollie, feed the obsession.
I always ask people who do, especially like long form YouTube, how do you decide like when you're going to film and when you're not, and just like put your phone away and reset?
So I feel like when I was younger, it was a lot harder, especially when I was in college, because I was like doing the podcast and I was out in LA, I was doing like so many different things at that point, and I really had less of a separation because I also had school on top of it. And so I was really filming like every aspect of my life.
Yeah.
But as time has gone on, like I like a home vlog. Like the second someone leaves their home, I'm like, I'm not interested. Like I want to watch you at home doing the same thing every single week. Like it's kind of on the same topic of like rewatching shows. I don't know if this is even true. This is like an Instagram carousel graphic, you know?
Yeah.
But they say that people who like to rewatch the same shows like have anxiety.
Yeah.
Which like kind of makes sense because it's like, you know what to expect and it's coming and there's something comforting about it, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel that way kind of with like YouTube vlogs. So now like I just film most of my stuff at home, and also without really meaning to, I really do film from between like 9 to 6 because it's after I get home from my workout to that. And that's not really super intentional.
Yeah.
But I just kind of plan it. I also like, I have a home and hobby brand now, and like that's what I spend most of my days doing.
Yeah.
So I'm always trying to I'm always doing some home project. I'm always doing something. So I try to film more around that stuff because I also know like what my audience likes from me.
Yeah.
And I have a lot of hobbies, so it's easier to like create content around that. But I don't film. It's just like it changes like basically in like different like seasons of my life of like what I'm filming and what I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not like throwing the camera in like my friends' faces. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah. No, I feel like you have a good, like, healthy balance with it, because I've definitely talked to people and have people like content creators on the podcast, and they're like really struggled with finding that line between when I film, when I don't, how to be present, like when to pull the phone out. And it could be like really hard for people.
I feel like probably like Gen Z as a whole feels that way with or without having platforms, just because like TikTok is such a thing now. I also think living in Texas is really helpful because actually a lot of my friends in Texas are also influencers, but we are just like also real normal life friends.
Yeah.
So like I just have gotten better about it, but I can imagine it being difficult for anyone at this point.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like so many people look at you and like to your content as like big sister vibes and a big sister like figure. Does that what does that role mean to you? Like, how do you intentionally go into your content with that in mind?
That's so nice. I think that like from the start of like when I started my YouTube channel, I wanted it to be an escape because that is what I went to YouTube for. So I definitely try, like I love like the comfort creator thing. Like I want to be that for other people. So, and also I'm a pretty open person. Like I'm a pretty open book for the most part. And if I have learned something or if I've gone through something, like I think that's something that's been helpful about being on the internet for so long. I just know that even like within grief, it's like I've seen messages for so long, like you feel less alone because you know that other people are going through it. So like the more I open up, the more messages I get from people. It doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything. And I know that there's so many other people out there that feel that way, which is really like selfishly helpful for myself. But also it's nice because I'm like, I know this is important. So it's like made me be more open over the years because I'm like, I know that we're all going through like very similar things. What like it doesn't really even matter. Like there's so many like different aspects that make our lives so different. But at the end of the day, like a lot of us are going through the same things. Like we're a lot more similar. Our lives are a lot more similar than you would ever imagine.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just made me like open up a little bit more.
Yeah. I love that. How do you decide like what you're going to share and what you want to keep private?
I think if I can share in a way that's helpful, like sometimes things are too fresh or that I haven't really worked through it. Sometimes it like grief is something you don't just cure. So like that's something that I know will never like, just like work through that. I mean, you do work through it, but you don't, there's not somewhere that you arrive at. So that is a little different because I'm just sharing. Also, I feel so lucky because I've been able, specifically the podcast, like I've been able to be in rooms with all these people. Even before that, like that's why I wanted to start the podcast is that I felt so lucky to be in the rooms with people that I was and I was learning from. So I was thinking like, it would be so helpful if like my YouTube viewers at the time could hear these conversations because I'm learning and getting so much from it.
Yeah.
So if it's something that I find would be helpful, I don't want to just be like bleeding out for no reason. Like I don't want it to just be like some like sobs. Do you know what I mean? Like not that that's a bad thing. Like vulnerability is like really powerful and whatever. But we all just like get like vulnerability hangovers and things, you know?
Yeah. I definitely think it's important to kind of like think through what you're sharing, especially if it is something that you maybe haven't worked through all the way or you don't know the outcome. Not that you need to know the outcome of everything necessarily, but just that you're like prepared to like thoughtfully and helpfully talk about it.
Totally. And if it involves someone else, it's when I don't share things. Yeah. Like it's really if it just affects me.
Yeah.
But if it is something that will make what I'm going through worse, like the response and stuff. So it just depends.
Yeah. You touched on the topic of grief. Can we talk about that a little?
Yeah, I'm very open about this.
Okay.
Like, you can't like, I know people get like, it's just like a hard conversation to like, I don't get like offended. I'm not like the grief police. Like there's nothing that anyone can say that's like wrong.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. No, I love that because grief is definitely something that's universal with, even if it's the loss of a loved one all the way to, a loss of a job or loss of your house. Like there's just so many different forms of grief. You've walked through grief with losing your brother. Can you share a little bit with me about how your grief journey has been?
My grief journey has been all over the place. I've experienced a lot of loss in my life, just specifically in my 20s, but losing my little brother who's 20 was like January 2024. So it's still like not that long ago.
Yeah.
The first couple of years, especially, it's so crazy. It's also like there's some days where you almost feel like you're like disassociated. Like I can talk about it because it feels like it's like I talk about it almost in a way of just disassociation. Like I'm not that person that like went through that. Like it doesn't always feel real. There are still times where I'm like, oh, I have to tell my brother, and like you just forget because it's weird because it's like it's on your mind 24/7 like still.
Yeah.
But like it's when you've lived 26 years or when I lived let me think about this 20 years with him, he was 5 years younger than me. Like that is a very hard like adjustment to make in your head. So while you're very aware, you're also kind of, I don't feel like I was ever in denial, but maybe I was, and I just don't really fully understand what denial is in grief. Like, because obviously you know that they're gone, but yeah, it's just been weird and like up and down. I definitely feel better than I have, but with the understanding of like something that would really bother me whenever I was like initially going through grief and loss. Like people would go to my best friend and be like, oh my God, like 2 or 3 months into it. And they'd be like, Kenzie, see what she's doing so great. I'm so hot. And I'm like, first of all, I haven't left my bedroom in 2 months. Second, like it was annoying because I obviously was not doing well. And it felt to me, whether or not they meant it this way, they probably didn't. I mean, people have good intentions, but it felt to me like they wanted me to be okay so that they didn't have to feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I can understand that because if you don't understand grief, like I don't want people to understand. You know what I mean? It's better to not have had to like experience it. Obviously, we've all dealt with grief in like certain regards, but like to the loss of a person, you know? I think it's just been kind of all over the place. Like it comes, of course, it like comes in waves. You never know. Like I've heard a lot of people say like year 2 for me has actually been a lot harder in different ways, but I've heard a lot of people, specifically with sibling loss, I don't even know if this is true, just people that I know, said like year 3 was their worst year. Just for what, like, I don't know what it is. I'm not there yet, so like we'll see. But yeah, it just like, it changes all the time.
Yeah. I love that you brought that up about like people like either not knowing what to say or what to do. I feel like that is like such a common thing. And when I've had people on the podcast and talk about, you know, loss of a sibling or a parent or a child, it is very much people don't know like what to say or how to help. And one of my best friends, she lost her dad when she was 16. And I've had like a lot of close friends and family recently lose people in their lives. And her and I were talking just kind of about that. And she told me, she was like, I wanted people to, like, everyone was talking to me like I had bubble wrap on.
Yes.
And I just wanted people to like talk normal to me and not every time I see someone like them ask how I'm doing. And like in the sense of like, not like, hey, how are you? But like more like a wanting to like try to have deep conversation. She's like, I just want people to just not go back to normal in a sense, because obviously her life's not normal, but not to have to like talk about it every time and treat her like, you know, you can't talk about whatever you have going on in your life because it was, you know, if let's say like, you know, I didn't get a job, like, you know, I didn't get this campaign I wanted, but she would still want me to like talk about it with her.
Yeah.
So
I think because your life has been turned upside down when you lose a loved one, and then your relationships kind of get weird because people don't know how to act around you. And then you feel even weirder because you've also lost that sense of normalcy. I get questions a lot of people either like DMing me or people in real life being like, how can I show up for my friend? They just lost their sibling or their husband or their parent or whatever it is. And everyone is so different. I'm not someone, there's a lot of phrases and things that can be triggering to other people, and things like people hate like everything happens for a reason, or parents, a lot of mothers hate like they're in a better place because they're like, no, the best place is with me. Even if people mean that, they have good intentions. My mom and I both were like, I'm not the grief police. I don't want to be mad at people for saying the quote wrong thing because like whatever, like we've all done our own thing, but that's valid if that's like how you experience it. That just wasn't me. A lot of your relationships change after it. And I really just appreciated people calling me and like treating me like normal. And if there was like some dumb gossip, like something so stupid happening or something in the like I liked hearing about normal things that were dumb problems because it took me out of myself. Like if I'm calling a friend who's going through loss, I'm not texting them all the time being like, how, like I'm texting them, checking in, but not in obvious ways. Like in the how are you that just gives a person going through loss like homework, and obviously they're not doing well. So it's like those texts were exhausting. Like I couldn't even reply to them because I didn't have the energy. But if they text me about something dumb, it would kind of like take me away from it. So I will text them and be like, hey, I have crazy gossip. Do you want a distraction? And then I'm literally 9 times out of 10, it's a callback within like 30 seconds because they want some sort of normalcy.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah. No, I feel like I relate to that right now in a different level, not with grief, but obviously with pregnancy.
Totally.
Everyone constantly is just always like, how are you doing? How are you feeling? Which I love. And like, I have so many wonderful people in my life, and like, I love being able to tell them, but also like in the same breath, I still have like, I feel like I'm constantly so behind on my calls and my texts because so many people are reaching out, which is so kind. And I don't want my friends or family hearing this to like feel like I'm not appreciative of it, but it's like, it's just a lot. Like I wasn't expecting it. And I'm the type of person that wants everyone to feel like seen, and I want to make sure I respond. But it literally takes me like 5 days to respond, especially because like my phone is my work. Yeah. So like I have all of my teams like texting me throughout the day. And then if you're not like one of the 5 texts when I'm like done with my day at 7 p.m., like it's over my head until like a couple weeks.
And you're literally growing a human. Like it's exhausting. Like you've got things going on. I get it. I think I'm even that, I don't know, something, I think maybe because I work on my phone, but like we all like, you know, but like something about like a text, I will, if I'm like, this is how like the first step that I know that I'm not doing for me personally as well, like mentally, is when like people start to text me and it like makes me angry. Because I'm so overwhelmed right now. Like that is my first sign of like, okay, I need to go do something because like clearly I'm unwell right now.
Yeah.
But like I will get like I'm like, because it feels to me, it's like, oh, they need something. And I'm like, I can't do that right now. I feel like I'm like losing it. But that's like my first sign for myself. Like I'm like, why am I like, you know?
Yeah, no, that's something I'm like trying to figure out, especially because I'm someone, I'm not a 3 on the Enneagram, but I'm definitely I'm a 2 wing 3. And I definitely am like a high achieving helper person.
Yeah, I'm 3 wing 2.
But okay, I'm going to let Kenzie explain a little what the Enneagram is because I'm not from the South and I'm not a master.
And the Enneagram is like so church culture core. Like it really is.
Yeah.
But so a 3 is the overachiever and then a 2 is a supporter. I think there's 9 because it's the like administrative person. The peacemaker is 9, 7 is like 4 and 7 are more creatives. There's just different personality types. And when you're a 3 wing 2 or a 2 wing 3, that just means like our first placement would be 3 so like Tay is a supporter who likes to help people overachieve, and I'm an overachiever who needs to like support everyone and make them also overachieve. If that makes sense.
Yeah, you should take the test. It's honestly really helpful.
It is
for like romantic relationships, but also like working relationships too.
Totally.
When you know how people approach things. Like I find for some reason I have a lot of 8s in my life, and those are like the challengers, and they're like just the very like assertive, confident, protective people.
Mm-hmm.
But that is like not my personality at all. And that's like who I gravitate to. So like they like do things differently.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is who I gravitate towards.
I've moved on to my next personality test obsession, but it's not even a personality test. You know Susie Welch? She's like done a lot of podcasts.
Yes.
She'd be a great guest for you, actually. She's amazing. I'm like a Susie Welch evangelist. Like that is like my religion at this point. Like I tell everyone about her and it comes up every single time I do like any sort of podcast. But she does this values quiz. I'll send it to you. It's so good, but it's the most helpful that I've ever found within like understanding people and relationships. Like it is so helpful. Like, it's the best thing ever. And she's a genius and like so smart and so cool. She has a fabulous house too.
Oh,
love her.
Love that.
Yeah. I'm like anyone with a fabulous house. I'm like, I'm obsessed. No, but she's a genius and I just love her.
I've definitely heard of her. I need to look more.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack, hydration, and coffee sponsor. IQ Bar protein bars, IQ Mix hydration mixes, and IQ Joe mushroom coffees are the delicious, low-sugar, brain and body fuel you need to win your day. On busy days, I'm always looking for things that are easy to grab, but still feel like they're actually supporting how I feel. Because there's so many moments throughout the day, whether it's between meetings, after a workout, or just needing a quick reset, where you want something convenient, but also something that actually holds you over. That's what I like about IQ Bar. Their ultimate sampler pack is such an easy way to try everything. You get IQ bars, IQ Mix hydration sticks, and IQ Joe coffee sticks. So you can kind of switch it up depending on what you need. The IQ Mix is great for hydration. It's a 0 sugar drink mix with electrolytes that helps you stay on top of that during the day. And then IQ Joe is a mushroom coffee with 200 milligrams of caffeine designed for mental clarity, which makes it a really easy swap into your morning routine. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffee. Their ultimate sampler pack includes all 3. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products, including the ultimate sampler pack, plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text SQUEEZE to 64,000. Text SQUEEZE to 64,000. That's SQUEEZE to 64,000. Message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. I feel like for me, the biggest thing is just having steady energy throughout the day. Not just that quick boost, but actually feeling focused and present in whatever I'm doing. Because there's such a difference between feeling on top of your day versus trying to catch up. That's where spark energy and focus comes in. It's something that's amazing before a workout or even just on a busy day when you want to feel more dialed in. They're really all about steady, controlled energy. It has 120 milligrams of caffeine, but it's balanced with amino acids and taurine, so you don't get that jittery spike or crash feeling. And I like that it's 0 grams of sugar, plus it includes essential vitamins and nutrients that support energy and mental focus. So it feels more than just a typical energy drink. It also tastes really good. It's refreshing, bold, and something that you would actually drink. And overall, it just fits really naturally into your routine. Whether you're starting your morning strong, getting ready for a workout, or pushing through that afternoon slump. And Spark Energy and Focus is offering 30% off plus free shipping. Go to drinkspark.com and use code SQUEEZE at checkout. That's code SQUEEZE at drinkspark.com. I feel like hydration is one of those things that's easy to overlook until you actually start paying attention to how you feel throughout the day, especially on days where you're more active, working out, or just constantly on the go. For me, even just long recording days or getting a workout in, I can tell such a difference when I'm actually staying hydrated versus when I'm not. And lately, I've been trying to be more intentional about that, especially when I'm sweating more or just need something that helps me feel a little more replenished. That's why I've been reaching for Gatorade Lower Sugar. Gatorade Lower Sugar has 75% less sugar than Gatorade. It has no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. Plus, it hydrates better than water, which is actually crazy. And I like it because it is truly such an easy swap. I have one of these once a day. You guys have seen me post on social media. I have been loving this Gatorade Lower Sugar. It's so easy to incorporate, and honestly for me, it's such a fun little midday pick-me-up when I need a little drink to get me through the afternoon slump. I am always reaching for my Gatorade Lower Sugar. It's also just really refreshing, which makes it something that I actually want to drink. And I feel like that's half the battle when it comes to staying consistent with hydration. And overall, it just fits really naturally into my routine without feeling like I have to overthink it. It's simple, it works, and it helps me stay on track on those days where I'm more active or busy. Try Gatorade Lower Sugar today, available on Gatorade.com and in stores nationwide.
Yeah. Wait, what were we talking about with Enneagrams? Oh, I think I was just saying like at that.
Oh, pregnancy and text.
Yes. I think I was just saying that I just like feel pressure with that, which I know I'm just putting that pressure on myself. But the same thing with you with like when you get overstimulated, when you get the text messages, that's me. And my husband and I both just had our birthdays like a couple months ago. And it's so funny because we're both like just like gripping because we have so many people that love us and we feel so loved, but we get so many texts, which is like great. And so like we like are so excited for our birthdays, but also like slightly dread it because it's just like we want to make sure we like respond to everyone. Yes. I don't know what that pressure is, but I also think I think just because of the access, I've actually talked about this a couple of times because of what our phones have given, like how much access our phones have given like people to us. I feel like, especially then, you know, you're getting the text alerts and then you're also getting the Instagram alerts and the TikTok alerts and like the emails, like they're just, everything is constantly popping up on the phone. So I feel like it's like, there's just, it's too much. Like
it is too much.
We're not meant to take that all in.
I think about access a lot. I'm like, this is kind of crazy that anyone, and with the text that they, even though they don't, like we're definitely putting this pressure on ourselves. They don't, but like it does feel like when someone texts you, they need a response immediately. But I do think you're really right about it's just overstimulating. Like I didn't even know what being overstimulated was until I met my best friend. And she's like queen of being overstimulated. And then I'm like, I literally like rubbed off from her. And now I'm like, I'm overstimulated at all times. Like I realized I could have a life without being overstimulated, I think. And now I'm like, wait, but I don't know. There's just something, I also think like, I think we both value being a good friend. Yeah. So you want to show up for everyone and you want to do that to the best of your ability. And yes, a text does not seem that deep, but it can feel that way, especially when you have a lot going on. To me, it's not really the text. It's more of, I mean, it is the text, but the deeper root of that is wanting to show up for everyone and be there for everyone and like not having the capacity.
Yeah. And like, I feel horrible when like someone, like I never want people to feel that I'm like intentionally not texting them back. Yes. Like I just don't want people to feel like, oh, like, she didn't care enough to do that. But really, I just like missed it. Yeah. And it stresses me out. What's the answer?
I don't know. I've actually been thinking about this because
do we go back to the flip phone? Like what? Like
no.
What?
And I'll get to the point where I'm so busy that someone will text me about a game night and I'm stressed because I know I can't do it. Yeah. And I'm like, I wish that I could put like a sign, like a do not disturb sign on my phone that's like, I'm busy for the next 6 weeks. And like, I love you guys so much, but like, I'm just doing my best. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I need. I need like a doorknob sign, but like on my phone somehow.
It's like an automatic text alert. Yeah. That like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for sending me this message.
Who do you think you are? Like, Kenzie will get back to you in an organized manner. They'd be like, okay.
I'm like, not me looking into that. I know. My best friends literally, I haven't seen them in like 2 weeks. And they were like, can we see you guys this weekend? And I'm like already stressing about like, I have a bridal shower, then I have a birthday party. And like, I'm really needing to clean out my closet because there's all my old clothes that don't fit me and I need to get the new clothes in, but then I also need to do the laundry. I'm like, no, I actually need to like sit down with my best friends and like see them. And like, that is so life-giving to me. Like the laundry can wait. But then at the same time, my brain is like, there's so many things.
No, and like one thing about me, I always have a closet to organize. Like, and it's always on my weekend plans. Like, I need to do it at all times. Yeah. But we'll trick ourselves into thinking that like that's gonna make us feel better when really like time with your friends is gonna make you feel better.
Yeah.
But it feels like in your head, it's like more overwhelming to not get the task done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you'll be more drained.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Okay, let's dive a little bit into like mental health stuff. We're talking about grief, but let's just talk about everyday mental health, wellness. What does like prioritizing your mental health look? I mean, I guess, did you have to kind of prioritize your mental health before you lost your brother?
Yes. Okay. So I've always had like anxiety and depression. Okay. Basically, I don't remember a time in my life where I didn't have it. More so anxiety, but definitely depression as well. And I've been like on and off meds prior to that. Grief is different because grief just hit. I like hate to say this because I hate when people. Something like after I lost my brother, we were joining like support groups and stuff, and there were people in there that are like, it's been 22 years and it feels the exact same. Like that stuff like isn't helpful or encouraging. At least didn't feel that way for me. Yeah. But like grief really was so much worse than the other stuff that I had dealt with. But I will say, this isn't like a day-to-day thing, but something that I did that was so helpful. Have you heard of brain codes? They're in
Is that the brain mapping thing?
Kind of, yes. Okay. They're in Aspen and Dallas. I actually need to look up their Instagram bio so I can tell you exactly what it is. But out of anything I've ever done, that was so helpful. And I noticed it specifically. I didn't even finish it because it was like in the middle of when my brother passed away.
Yeah.
What is it? Brain codes. Hold on. I need to find this because this is important. Brain codes. So it's Brain Code Centers, and it's our all-natural approach to mental health care. It's your brain's potential, taking back control, achieving your goals. It's just neurofeedback. It was the best thing I ever did because after, in the middle of like losing my brother, I was like, okay, the fact that my brain is able to operate, it was 1000% because I had done that prior. And the whole thing is they want to do it for like 6 months and that way you're not in it for the rest of your life. It was the biggest game changer I've ever done for anything like actual like mental health. That's not helpful because it's not like a daily ritual, but out of anything I've ever done, like therapy, I've done trauma therapy, I've done every single therapy under the book. I've done like, there is nothing like the brain mapping that I did through brain codes.
No, our friends like swear by neurofeedback. My husband and I both have done a little bit of it, and then we started doing it last year, and it was like before summer, and then we were like just gone traveling, and we like need to go back. Was yours the ones where they like put a couple things in your head and you just watch either? What did you watch?
Gilmore Girls, obviously.
Okay. So I know some people that watch something, and then my place has like it's basically like a video game, but you're not playing it. It basically is like you're either you can pick what it looks like. So you can either be like in a car race and the car goes when your brain is doing the correct thing. And then when it's not, it like the car slows down and then like the screen starts to go dark. So you can either have that. I picked the one that has butterflies. Obviously. And that's basically it. You literally just like sit and stare at the thing.
It was the best thing I ever did. And it's crazy because you're sitting there and you're like, I feel like an idiot because there's no way this is doing anything. I would go in and they would attach things to my head and I would watch Gilmore Girls for 30 minutes, like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm so dumb. Like I think my woo-woo-ness has like gone a little too far. And then it was the best thing I ever did.
I don't know like how to properly explain it because the science behind it is just, it's too advanced for me. But I really think there is so much to like the subconscious, like our brains, like we can only control like such a small portion of it. And our brain just does a lot of its stuff on its own. And so I feel like that's a way to tap into it and heal parts of your brain that like we couldn't do just like sitting, talking.
Have you ever done a scan with Dr. Amen? Mm-hmm. Okay, so like whenever I did that, and then I've done like the brain mapping and all of that. So whenever they do a scan of your brain or however they do it and it comes back, I know mine's going to be bad. Like I know that going into it. I'm so like, I'm like outgoing and louder and a little bit like bubbly sometimes. So I think that they're just maybe a little like taken aback when I don't think that they like see that coming at first.
Yeah.
And so they're sitting there, they're like, well, just so you know, like they're not trying to scare me. I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, trust me, I'm aware. I'm like, oh, yeah, that looks right. Like,
Yeah.
But they're always like, they're like, this is curable. We can fix this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, guys, don't worry. I got you.
It's fine. It's totally
I'm
fine.
like, we're so good. I'm like, oh, I'm like years ahead of you. Trust me. I'm
Did
like,
it
I live
make
with it.
How long ago was your last brain scan? Have you only done it once?
I only did it once and then
Yeah.
they sent me to brain mapping.
Yeah.
So I should do an updated one actually.
I've been wanting to do one. I got mine probably in I actually don't know if Taylor and I were maybe beginning of 22. Maybe beginning of 2022. And mine was like so helpful for me because I worked as a COVID nurse and I left and had a lot of
so
like
traumatic.
mental stuff, but I was diagnosed with PTSD from that.
Mhm.
And I was like, had the whole like disassociating, like just all of that stuff. And I was really feeling like a crazy person. But then when I went in and got my brain scan and it was like, oh no, like you're actually having like depression and like severe PTSD. I was like, I feel so much better. Whereas like my husband was like, I don't want to do this because I don't want to know what's going on. But it gave me, and that's actually
That's such a female versus male thing.
yeah. I've actually had like quite a few people be like, were you like scared to like find out like when you just like want to like not know? But I was at the point where I was like, I feel like I'm going crazy.
You need an answer.
Yeah. And like any answer is better than me just like not knowing and like trying to go through life like how I am going through life with not like the proper help.
Totally. It's also for me, it's a little bit of a control thing.
Mhm.
Like it's helpful because I'm like, well, I know that. So at least I have the knowledge now and I can make a decision. You know what I mean? Like I can move forward. If I don't know something, I'm just going to stay in this forever.
Yeah. I've noticed or I've come to realize about myself, I kind of thought it was a claustrophobic thing, but now I think it's a control thing that I've developed. So I know a lot of friends that developed OCD from working as nurses, which I think is a common thing that I had no clue of. But after like working through COVID, I developed like really bad claustrophobia as well. After that, I developed a fear of like flying, and I wouldn't like if people like, I only really liked my husband driving me in the car. Like I never like properly felt like safe in something. And I always thought it had to do with like claustrophobia. But now, as of literally like a month ago when I was on a plane, I think it's actually more so I'm just not in control. And I had such a lack and loss of control during that time period that now it's hard for me to like actually like not like, I just am very tense in situations that I can't control.
Totally. I am too. I'm like not even with that. I think so many of my issues like boil down to control.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but I'm really easygoing.
Why is that? But then I also have things where I'm like, I literally like, I don't care majority of the time.
I actually weirdly am very laid back. I grew up with 8 siblings, so you had to be.
Oh wow.
So like 6 of them step, but there was so much going on. I'm shockingly laid back. Like you wouldn't think that, but when it comes to my day to day, there's certain things that I have to do. I think control we don't ever actually have real control. So it gives you a false sense of control to where you think you have everything handled or you can fix it. Whereas like none of us even really actually have control. So it's just like this never ending cycle that just kind of makes you like go crazy and I make bad decisions based off of it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm just like really curious to see how this evolves for me, like becoming a parent.
Yeah.
I'm already like, dear God, help me now.
I feel like it makes you give up a lot of control.
I hope.
I think it goes probably one or the other. Like, you know how they say like you're really by the book and the second they're like, oh, you're fine, you know?
Yeah. I don't.
It'll be a journey.
Yeah. We're gonna see how that goes. I'm curious if you have an answer for this, what parts of yourself are you, if any, still learning to accept?
That's such a good question. I honestly, I do think it's that I've just like, I'm a lot more controlling than I thought I was.
Yeah.
Like I've noticed it more in my relationship because my boyfriend Charlie is like literally the most perfect angel. Like you go anywhere, like multiple people when I have introduced him have cried because like spending time with him, he just is like the best person you've ever met.
Aww.
And he's so great and so easygoing. And like he's like perfect with me too. We're like the perfect match, but like he is very patient with me and whatever. And there's certain things that I'm like, it's not that or like will bother me, but it's not his fault at all. He's not doing anything wrong. It's just the fact that I feel like it's the dumbest, smallest stuff, but it's control. And I think that it's just been more highlighted to me through our lives like coming together. I feel like. So I think that because it's also kind of hard because like I'm weirdly it sounds like I'm being pick me or like an idiot, but like I weirdly am laid back and other. Like if we're on a group trip, I'm the first one to sleep on the couch. I don't care where I sleep. I don't need a nice seat. I don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's all like growing up with a lot of siblings. So I think it's like the weird things that with control like give me like some sort of like false sense of control.
Yeah.
And also because I've tried to be like with mental health, I try to be really like proactive. Like I'm really affected by my environment. So I need my house to be clean. So I keep it clean and organized. I know that about myself. I work way better when I'm on a routine. If I'm working out, it makes me feel it's way more for my mental health. Like I have things set in place to be proactive with my mental health rather than like reactive so that I don't get into a bad place. With that being said, of course, I still will. But like I try to avoid it as much as possible. So I think it's just, I don't know. I think the aspects of like control that I'm trying to be like let go of.
For sure. What are some like non-negotiables for you in your routines?
I have to work out. If I don't work out, I go crazy. I read a lot. I don't meditate, but someone told me once, that was a smart person. They said that, actually, it was whenever I was doing one of the mapping things.
Okay.
They said the weirdest part about this brain, they couldn't figure it out.
This brain?
I mean, they're like, this brain that we're really unsure about. No, they're not scary, by the way, when they do this. I'm just being funny. But they said that the part of your brain that would be highlighted if you're a meditator was like very healthy or green or in the clear, or whatever it was, the way that they showed it to you. And they said, do you meditate? And I said, no, but I read a lot. And they're like, that's what it is. So there's something about reading that makes me calm down a lot. I'm really big on hobbies. Okay. And I need hobbies that use your hands. So like I garden a lot. I like actual garden like with a shovel, not like smoking. Yeah. And then I'm like, that's my hobby. And then I like needlepoint a ton. Like it's like very grandma hobbies. But those things are so meditative. Like I wake up every single morning at 6 a.m. And like Charlie has my exact blanket that I want out, like gets my coffee, my iPad, just lights the fire, lights a candle, and I go and I sit. Like I'm 85 years old. Okay. Yeah. And I needlepoint for an hour. And then that just like makes me so calm. And then I go work out. So I have like hobbies in workouts and stuff. Like those are my non-negotiables that I have to do to like be okay. And it's helped me a lot because I don't doom scroll nearly as much as I did before because I have other things that I would now rather do. For sure. I couldn't just like stop doom scrolling. We're all addicted. There's no way. I still doom scroll, of course. But like it's easier for me now because I have other things that I would like to do instead of just like sit there and like brick myself out of my phone and be like, okay, now what do I do?
Yeah. No, that's good. Do you journal?
Yeah, I like go in and out of it. I was really into morning pages for a very long time. Okay. So I love morning pages. I'll do like a Devo. Like I'll do things like that. I'll go in and out of my like routine with that, like a quiet time or something. Like I go in and out of my routine there. Yeah. But that's also very helpful.
You know, I definitely feel like I feel my best when I have that like quiet time in the morning routine. I'm like still trying to figure out exactly what that is. I was really good for probably like 4 months. I was doing like journal, devotional, like every single morning.
And you feel amazing.
And it feels so great. Yeah. And then I got pregnant and then I died during my first trimester and I still haven't made that like jump back into it yet. But I have the same thing of my routine of like waking up and I feed the dogs and I open the door, then I light the candle, then I put my jazz music on. Like it's like very much, it just like feels so nice.
Have you ever done the draw the circle Devo? Like I think it's like Mark Batterson or something like that. I don't even know who the author is at all, but it's so good. Okay. It's really interesting because it like ties to history, which I like. There's certain aspects of it that like obviously I don't agree with, but like there's things that are just like, it's just more interesting to me. Yeah. Because it ties to history and I like that stuff. Okay. And it's not like history in a sense that you're learning in school. It's just, history is a bad way to put it. It just gives you life examples, like situations that have happened in the past. Yeah. So in my head, I'm like, so I'm like reading a historical book.
I mean, that would be, what kind of books do you read? That's what I was going to ask earlier.
Okay. So actually I'm so happy that you asked this question because I'm like actually been dying for someone asking this question because I recently started reading historical fiction and you couldn't tell me that I'm not the smartest girl in the world because I feel so good about myself.
It's so funny. Fiction. Like Bridgerton like times or what?
I was on like a really big Vietnam kick earlier this year. I've been reading a lot of Kristen Hanna. Like she's like the most probably like easiest historical fiction author to read. She's the most popular. Okay. Like in the mainstream.
I know nothing. So, okay.
So good. So I love, obviously, Jessica Hastings is my number one. But I love, before I was always reading like romance and thriller.
Would Jessa's be historical fiction?
No, Jessa is in.
I was like, sorry,
no.
Jessa.
She is in a realm of her own. She's
Yeah.
in a league of her own. I actually don't even know what her.
Like what it would be.
Yeah, I've even talked to her about this. I'm like, I literally do not know. Like, we've actually talked about this on the podcast. She's been on my show like probably 10 times. And like, I've read I read the books before they come out, and I still couldn't tell you what genre they are.
Yeah.
Because they're just, she's a genre of her own.
Yeah.
But now I'm on this historical fiction kick. Like, thank God you asked me, so I can tell everyone that I do read historical fiction now. And they're so good. I also read this book earlier this year called The Correspondent. Do you like reading at all?
I really want to get into it.
Okay, I can give you like any.
And I got a Kindle too because I was
Good,
like
perfect.
really wanting to. I'm almost done with Matthew McConaughey's book.
Perfect.
And I've been loving that.
Okay, so you like a memoir?
I really don't know. I want to try.
I will do a curated list for you.
I want to
feel very
try
passionate.
fiction book though. That's my thing because I feel like I actually would really enjoy like a full. I feel like Matthew's book is like he just tells so many stories, and I'm like hearing him like read it to me in my head as I'm reading it. And it like actually has
all right,
literally.
Next page. Yeah.
It like has pulled me out, but I want to try all of my girlfriends read and they're all like,
I know you really are in such a reader group of friends. My favorite of Jesse's books is actually Conditions of Will. That is in that I think you would like. I read earlier this year The Correspondent, which was so good. It's Virginia Evans and it's told through letters, which I thought I wouldn't like. But then I thought about it and I'm like, that's really not that different of a structure because that's basically how a book is written, you know?
Yeah.
And it's this woman who's like telling the story of her life. It's so good, like 5-star read.
Oh.
The Women, Kristen Hanna is like one of my favorite books of all time. But that's like a universal favorite.
Yeah.
I just was reading so many 5 stars this year. I was in a really bad book slump last year. This year, it's really. I'm not a big romantic-y girl.
That's what a lot of my friends
I know,
are, and
that's all she reads.
And I don't know. Also, because those books are like so like
it's a lot
big,
to start with. Yeah,
so they like scare me.
It's intimidating.
But then all of the movies are coming. Keaton actually really wanted me to read The Housemaid like a long time ago before but then the movie came out and then I just saw the movie. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really.
No, I don't have to.
Yeah, so
I will make you a curated list and I'll give you like little blurbs of like why I think you would like them.
Yeah. It's on my to-do like over summer before I have this baby of like just sit with a Kindle and like read.
There's also this book right now, Strangers, that is the talk of the town. Oh my God, Belle Burden, love her. Would do anything for that woman. But it's this memoir. My boyfriend keeps saying like, oh, you love this divorce book. But it's like, it's this memoir of this woman's divorce, which sounds really not great.
Yeah.
But you read it. It's a very quick read. You're really interested. It keeps you. I read it in less than 24 hours. I would have read it in one sitting had I had the time that day. It was so good. And it's a quick read. And I like to recommend books that everyone's talking about because like the community around books is like half the fun. Yeah. So it's cool to like hear the discourse and stuff and like be in the know because there's so many like interviews and stuff that she's doing right now, but she's also amazing.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna need this.
This would be a good podcast guest for you. I'm like just pitching your podcast guest. It's a really good book.
We're gonna end this and you're gonna like email me like a whole like here are your books, here are your guests.
I have homework.
Yeah. The achiever and you're just gonna like go type it all up.
That's me being a 3-wing too.
Yep. Yeah. Truly. It truly is. The last question I have for you is if someone is listening to this right now and feels behind where they're at in life, what would you say to them?
Okay, like a couple like tangible, practical things. You need to go on a walk and listen to like Vienna or something. Like you're not behind. That's not a real thing. That doesn't exist. Also, watch who you're following online. My favorite accounts to follow are old people. Like I like someone who's like in a retirement home or could be in a retirement home. And they're always telling you the same thing, which is like, don't put so much pressure on yourself. It's not that big of a deal. You're going to like figure it out in due time. A lot can change in a year. Like I was in the worst place I've ever possibly been in. And the past year and a half in my life is outside of grief is better than it's ever been now. And it's just so much can happen in a year. So don't live by some fake made up timeline. It's not a thing. Like that's something that you're like pressure that you're putting on yourself. This is coming from someone who has lived by a fake made up timeline my whole life. Like I have done nothing but put pressure on myself. I also try to think about myself, like what my 60-year-old self would say to myself now. And I know every time it's going to be like, you're putting too much pressure on yourself. It's going to work out with or without you. Like you worrying does not change the outcome, but it does make you miserable. Sure. And it also might make the outcome worse because you might start making bad decisions based out of like desperation or stress or whatever it is.
So true.
So go on a walk, listen to Vienna. You'll be fine. Just calm down. And like, there is no timeline. Like you just, also something that I would do too, because I was the made up timeline queen myself.
Yeah.
I would Google people. I also weirdly did this with grief. I would Google people. These are like two separate things. I would Google people who were, like people who achieved success, like quote later in life. I literally did like multiple podcast episodes on like listing these people off and like their life stories.
Yeah.
I love someone that decided to go to like med school in their 60s or something, like changed their life completely. Like life is short, but it's also very long. You have so many things that you can do. I would do that also with grief. I would Google like celebrities only because you could see their life. Like obviously a private person isn't like sharing their life on the internet, but I would Google celebrities of like people who have lost siblings. So I could see that they still had a good life outside of that. Like that would give me some sort of hope. So finding like random people out there that are kind of like the answer to your problem and like seeing them from afar personally helped me a lot.
Yeah. I love that. Well, that's a great way to end this episode.
Yay. Thanks for having me on. It was so fun.
Thanks for coming and chatting and yapping. I had to like look at the clock. I was like, oh, we could literally have sat and talked for another hour. I love it.
Well, good. We will actually.
Yeah. We have to.